I'm hoping to get this TikTok over to Black TikTok. Any Black parents? We have adopted a Black baby. Her name is Zoe, and I don't know what to do for her hair. I have this little brush. I have something from Shea Moisture. I really don't know what to use, so please, any Black parents or anyone who knows what to do with Black children's hair, please help me in the comments. Thank you.
Okay, am I retarded?
Did a Black...
What is this brush? Would you ever use this brush on somebody's hair? Would I ever?
Over to Black...
Is this a human hair brush that you would use to brush hair like this? Okay, lots of people are saying yes. It's a baby brush.
Black take...
Have I ever brushed a baby's hair before? Yes. Oh, yes. I feel like I have used something like this before, but I feel like that's when the baby's hair is like very thin and short. We might have had one of these for Nathan, but I feel like once the baby's hair gets this long...
TikTok, any Black parent...
I guess it makes sense then if he's white, it would make sense. Hey, girl, whatever. For curly hair, you should use a Denman brush. Yeah, because I think we had one of these for Nathan's hair, I think, when he was a baby. But it's like that when they have like very, very, very fine, like small hair, because you can just like brush it. Because you're not even really trying to like comb it or anything. You're just like trying to like... And then they make funny faces at you.
We have adopted a Black baby. Her name is Zoe, and I...
Damn, adopted a Black baby. I mean, if they like speak gay, they're kind of like already using AAVE, so I guess it kind of works, right? Like it's like...
I was trying to figure out what was bothering me about that video.
Okay, that was a very advanced cultural joke, okay? Listen, there is a claim that people in gay communities in the United States co-opted Ebonics or African American vernacular English from Black women. So the joke being that if you're a gay guy and you heavily use like gay language that is heavily borrowed from AAVE, then you're already kind of like speaking the appropriate vernacular, arguably, if you're trying to bring up a Black child and also have them speak AAV. That was the joke, okay? It was an advanced cultural joke, okay? It made sense and it wasn't racist or offensive, okay?
And I think one, why did you get a Black baby without doing any research first? Like, yeah, ask for help, but you don't know any Black people in real life to ask help?
Why do you assume the guy is gay? Straight people can't? Because I have gaydar, because I can tell instantly that guy was gay. I can just tell it. I can just instantly tell.
From? You don't know any... Like, yeah, ask for help, but you don't know any Black people in real life to ask help from? You don't know any Black people in real life. You adopted a Black baby and you don't know any Black people, any Black women at all. If that's the case, that's concerning already. But if you do, why did you come to the internet and pose it that way? I don't know. Something about that. If it gives performance, I don't care. I don't care. Say what y'all want to say. It gets very performative.
Okay, 9 out of 10 times, especially when it comes to Black issues, I think everything is cringe when people are on the internet. However, her use of the word microaggressions is cringe, okay, also. But it is kind of weird if it's like two white gay guys and they adopted a Black baby and they don't know anything about Black people or have any real life Black friend. That is kind of weird. That is like, I think that's pretty weird. That feels a little gross to me. I feel it. I actually vibe with that. I vibe with that. I think it's kind of weird. Why the f does that matter? It's just a color. Well, without going full Black supremacist, my understanding, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding is that like babies are actually pretty hard to adopt. When people talk about, and that they're in very high demand. In the United States, when people talk about how it's like there's so many children that need to be adopted and we don't have enough adopting parents and everything, they're not talking about babies. They're talking about, unfortunately, kids that are like older, like 6+ years old. Nobody really wants to adopt these people because they're already children. They already have a lot of problems. It's just like, it's difficult. It's very, very, very difficult to be a foster parent to a child that's already got trauma and might have been through the system or come from a bad home, et cetera, et cetera. Babies, though, my understanding is babies are in very high demand. Like if you can adopt a baby like less than 6 months old, that's like the gold standard. You're basically like adopting a brand new kid that you just didn't have to give birth to, and then you can do all the raising and everything you want. So I feel like if it was like a gay couple and they'd adopted like a 10-year-old black child, that's one thing. But adopting a baby, it just, yeah, that feels kind of weird to me. And then they're like posting on Instagram about like, how do I brush this thing's hair? It just feels kind of weird. But yeah. Why does it feel weird? You didn't explain that. Well, the idea of, why does it feel weird? You generally are, let's see if we can do this without going full. Generally, our children look similar to us, or are like a similar, like ethnicity, race to us. When you start to go outside of that hardcore, I think that reasonably so. I think people would have like a lot of questions about like, is there like a weird like motivation here to be adopting this kind of child? Like, I feel like it would be strange. Like, imagine I'm talking to you guys about how, let's say me and Melina are still together. I'm like, oh yeah, we decided to adopt. Melina doesn't have kids. We're going to adopt. We talk about it. We're hyped. We're excited. You know, I've got this child coming. His name is James. It's going to be so cool. And then say we do like the first day and we're like, just kidding. We adopted twins. We adopted James and his sister, Emily. We call them James and Emily. And then me and Melina show up and they're two fully Indian children. I feel like everybody would look like, what the fuck? What? Wait, why? Hello? I think it would just look really weird. I think people are like, what the fuck is it? Why would you do this? Yeah, I feel like it's kind of strange. I mean, if they were like the only two available and you adopted them or whatever, like, yeah, I don't know. It just seems kind of strange. Feels a little virtue signally. Feels a little, this is just you? New case, I'm sorry, my friend, but no, this is not just me. This is going to be 95% of people on the planet. That if you showed up with adopted babies that were a totally different race than you, most people are like, that's a little bit weird. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say on the planet. I should say in America. Maybe in Europe or some shit. Maybe it's way different or something. I don't know. Since when does It Feels Icky ever stopped for arguing for something? Well, I'm not saying that it's a total argument against it. I'm just saying that there's like that ick feeling comes from somewhere, right? And it's good to think about where it comes from. You know, if somebody really wants to adopt a baby, this is the only one available. They feel like they can provide, love for the child no matter what they look like or whatever. I think that's fine. Like, I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing. We're saying that, like, I think a lot of people would look at that and wonder. I'm a white guy and I adopted an Asian girl. People now think I'm libertarian. What about the opposite? Like rejecting a baby available for adoption because they're a different race? Again, it sounds bad, but I think most people would understand. I think most people are like, okay, sure, yeah, that would be kind of weird to raise a child who's a completely different race than you. So is it icky for American parents to adopt kids from developing countries? I guess it depends on what your motivation for doing it is. I got an uncle into American football and he thinks it's rigged. How the f do I get him to stop believing in the baseless conspiratorial theories? Well, I mean, hello, Deflategate. Hello, you seen some of the refs in these games? Just kidding. We only complain about refs in baseball, where they're actually treated as God Emperor losers. You didn't explain f all. You just keep restating the same thing. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me dive a little bit more into it, okay? White parents, black baby, seems a little bit weird. The weird feeling is that child is going to have an exceptional grow-up experience in the United States. Chances are, if it's white parents, they probably live in a white community, especially based on how they sound, right? So you're going to have a black child in a predominantly white community with white parents without any black people in their life, possibly, to relate or understand or empathize with you or anything like that. So you're already starting off as kind of like an outsider. And then on top of that, you've got two parents who might not be equipped to help you with any of those outsider experiences, right? So you have a black baby growing up, might be treated a little bit differently by classmates, might have like kind of weird or different experiences with girls, might have some unique experiences growing up. For instance, none of the Tanners, none of the Bradleys, none of the Kyles in my class seem to have problem meeting their girlfriend's parents, but when I do, there's a huge problem, right? You might have like a lot of issues like this that pop up where as white parents, you might not know what the f to say or like even how to address a particular thing. I don't know what I would tell Nathan. If Nathan like started to complain to me like, hey dad, like kids are like calling me racial slurs in class, I'd be like, okay, like laugh at that. What a dumb thing. But it's different. I'm just saying like that. Hold on one sec. Quickly perma-banning retarded assumptions. Are mixed race children bad too because they don't look exactly similar to the parents? Nope, I didn't even imply that. And I'm not even gonna explain, and you're permabanned. I'm 99% sure my philosophy professor is a DDGer. You mean DGGer? You've talked way too much with black separatists, little bro. Okay. A disproportionate number of children available for adoption in America are black. You don't get to pick and choose. As someone who's actually gone through the adoption process, You don't get to pick and choose a baby at all. Well, firstly, I know you can do surrogate mothers. Is it considered a surrogate if it's not at all like your sperm or your egg? I'm almost positive there's some choice in that process, and I'm basing this entirely on the fact that I watched the movie Juno. Surely you have some option to choose. Hold on, can you choose the race of your adopted baby? Importantly, adoptive families can establish their preferences on what races they are open to adopting. This is a deeply personal decision and requires care. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. That would be wild to me that you really can't, you really wouldn't be able to state a preference at all. Two parents going to adopt a kid and they get like a Filipino child and they're like from the whitest community